Welcome to the Bentley Systems training course, where you will learn how to design steel connections in STAAD.Pro using RAM connection. In this video, we will focus on designing the Beam-Girder connections to resist shear reactions. We will now turn our attention back to our sample model. For this particular model, all of our beams framing into girders are pinned at both ends, meaning that only a shear connection will be required at these joints. So the first step in our workflow is to select all of our beam girder joints, which we're going to do through the Select Joints command. Once your joints are selected, let's go ahead and assign a preliminary beam girder connection. Through the Connection Design tab in the ribbon toolbar, we're going to select our basic connection command, and we're going to select an appropriate shear beam girder connection. For this exercise, I'm going to select a single plate beam girder. Over in the available window, I'm going to select all of the connection templates that I want considered for this connection design. To select multiple templates, you're just simply going to hold down your Control key. Once you've selected all of your connection templates, we're going to move them over to the selected window and then click OK. Now in the RAM connection validation dialog, we are going to scroll down and see the status of the connections are all set to OK, and RAM connection has not indicated if there are any joints in the model that were not assigned a connection template. Let's close this dialog for now. Now for our particular sample model, I have 11 beam girder joints. I can see all 11 of these joints are available in the RAM connection input dialog. Now let's go ahead and select our first beam girder joint to see how it's been detailed. Now for this particular model, all of my beams are shallower than all of my girders. Now what we're going to notice is that STAAD.Pro does not differentiate between girders and beam members, and several of the joints in the model have been detailed with the beam and girders sections reversed. So to assist the program in detailing these particular joints, we need to be able to identify which are the beams and which are the girders, which can only happen after a preliminary connection template is assigned to our beam girder joints. In the main window, you can hold down your Shift and V keys to turn on all of our beam numbers. So for this particular model, I've gone ahead and written down all of the beam numbers for each of the beam girder joints in my model. Once you do that, we need to identify those as beam members for the program. We're going to go up to the Connection Design tab in the ribbon toolbar and click on the Identify Beam and Girder icon. Now for every one of these connections that are identified as beam girder connections, we're going to take a look at the girder number and the beam number, and anywhere where they're opposite of what they're supposed to be, we're going to tell the program to go ahead and swap them. So beam number 36 is a beam, not a girder. So I'm going to go ahead and switch that. I'm going to do that for this joint and this joint. Beam number 37 is a beam, not a girder. And it looks like that one was correct. I also have a beam number 39 and a beam number 40. In addition to that, beam number 75 is a beam, beam 132 is a beam, and 177 is a beam. Once I've identified all of my beams, I'm going to click on the Swap button, and then we'll go ahead and click OK. Now through this process, STAAD.Pro is going to reassign connections to each of those joints. If I double click on the same joint that I just previously selected, we're going to see that the detailing of this connection is now correct. At this point, we have completed our process for assigning shear connections to our beam girder joints in the model. Just as a reminder, beam girder joints will be a two-step process. You need to assign a preliminary beam girder connection to the joint, and then you need to ensure that the program has correctly identified your beams versus girders for the detailing of the connections.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.